What if I told you that your refrigerator, that giant machine humming in your kitchen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, costing you $150 to $200 every single year just in electricity, is completely unnecessary for keeping most of your food fresh? What if a $1 bag of salt, used in a specific way, could keep your vegetables, fruits, meat, and dairy fresh for up to 6 months, without a single watt of electricity? Not a fancy preservation machine. Not vacuum sealing equipment that costs $300. Not freeze-drying technology. Just salt. The same salt your great-grandmother used before refrigerators even existed. And here is the part that will make you furious. The appliance industry has known about this method since the 1920s. They watched it work, they studied it, and then they spent the next 100 years making sure you forgot it ever existed. Because the moment you learn this, you stop depending on their $200 refrigerators forever. Stay with me. Because by the end of this video, your relationship with food storage will never be the same again. Here's a fact that should make every American and British household furious. The average family throws away $1,500 worth of food every single year. Food that went bad. Food that rotted in the fridge. Food that was perfectly good 3 days ago and is now in the trash. And the solution the appliance industry sells you? Buy a bigger fridge. Buy a second fridge. Buy a mini fridge for the garage. Keep spending. Keep consuming electricity. Keep paying their bills. But here is what they never tell you. Food does not spoil because of heat alone. Food spoils because of moisture and bacteria. Bacteria need 2 things to survive and multiply: moisture and oxygen. Remove those 2 things, and food does not spoil. It cannot spoil. The biology simply does not allow it. Salt, specifically the right type of salt used in the right way, removes moisture from food at a cellular level. It draws water out through a process called osmosis. Without moisture, bacteria cannot survive. Without bacteria, food cannot rot. This is not new science. This is not alternative medicine. This is basic microbiology that has been understood for over 4,000 years. Ancient Egyptians used it. Roman soldiers carried their food preserved this way across entire continents. Your great-grandparents used it every single winter before electric refrigerators existed. The refrigerator was not invented because salt preservation stopped working. It was invented because it was more convenient. And convenience, as it turns out, costs you $200 a year in electricity and $1,500 a year in wasted food. In 1923, General Electric launched the first mass-market home refrigerator, the Monitor Top. It cost the equivalent of $4,000 in today's money. Most American families could not afford it. But GE had a problem. Salt preservation worked perfectly. Every housewife in America already knew how to preserve food without electricity. There was no reason to spend $4,000 on a machine that did something salt had been doing for free for centuries. So GE, along with Westinghouse, Frigidaire, and later Whirlpool, began one of the most successful marketing campaigns in American history. They did not just sell refrigerators. They sold the idea that salt preservation was dangerous, primitive, unreliable. They funded newspaper articles warning about food poisoning from preserved foods. They lobbied government health agencies to discourage traditional preservation methods. Within 20 years, knowledge that had been passed from mother to daughter for thousands of years had almost completely disappeared from American households. By 1950, over 80% of American homes had a refrigerator. GE's revenue had grown by 400%. And an entire generation had grown up with no idea that their grandmothers had kept food fresh for 6 months without a single electrical appliance. That knowledge did not disappear because it stopped working. It disappeared because it was worth billions of dollars to make sure you forgot it. Now let me explain exactly how this works, because once you understand the science, you will never look at a bag of salt the same way again. Every living cell, including the bacteria that cause food to spoil, contains water inside a thin membrane. When you surround that cell with a high concentration of salt, something remarkable happens. The water inside the cell is pulled outward through the membrane, toward the salt, through a process called osmosis. The bacteria cell loses its internal water. It shrivels. It dies. Without living bacteria, the decomposition process that causes food to rot simply cannot happen. But salt does something else as well. It draws moisture out of the food itself, out of the meat, the vegetables, the fruit. This dehydrated environment is completely hostile to any new bacteria that tries to grow. It is like trying to start a fire with wet wood. The conditions simply do not support it. The result is food that stays fresh, safe, and nutritious for months, sometimes years, without any electricity, without any machinery, and without any modern technology whatsoever. Now, here's the key detail that most people get wrong. Not all salt works equally well. Table salt, the fine white salt in your kitchen shaker, contains anti-caking agents and iodine that can interfere with preservation. What you need is pure, non-iodized salt, kosher salt or pickling salt. A 3-pound bag costs exactly $1 at Walmart, Aldi, or any grocery store. That $1 bag will preserve more food than your refrigerator handles in an entire month. Here is everything you need. Total cost, $1 to $3. Everything available at any grocery store or Walmart. Item 1, non-iodized salt, kosher salt or pickling salt. A 3-pound bag. Cost, $1. This is your primary preservation agent. Item 2, glass jars with tight lids. Mason jars work perfectly. You probably already have these at home. If not, a pack of 12 costs $8 at Walmart and lasts forever. Item 3, cheesecloth or a clean cotton cloth for wrapping certain foods. Cost, under $2. Item 4, a cool dark storage space. A cupboard, a basement, a pantry. No electricity required, no special equipment. That is it. 4 items, under $3 total. And the results will last for 6 months minimum, up to 2 years for certain foods. Let me show you exactly how to do this for 4 different food types: vegetables, meat, cheese, and fruit. For vegetables, step 1. Wash your vegetables thoroughly and dry them completely. Any moisture on the surface will dilute your salt concentration. Step 2. In a clean glass jar, add a 1-inch layer of kosher salt on the bottom. Step 3. Pack your vegetables tightly on top of the salt layer. Carrots, green beans, cucumbers, cabbage. All work beautifully. Step 4. Cover the vegetables completely with another thick layer of salt. Every surface must be touching salt. Step 5. Seal the jar tightly. Store in a cool, dark place. Your vegetables will stay fresh and crisp for 3 to 6 months. For meat. Step 1. Cut meat into portions. Steaks, chicken pieces, fish fillets. Pat completely dry with paper towels. Step 2. Coat every surface of the meat generously with kosher salt. Do not be shy. The salt needs to penetrate. Step 3. Wrap tightly in cheesecloth and place in a glass container. Step 4. Store in the coolest part of your home, ideally below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. A basement or cool pantry is perfect. Step 5. Check after 24 hours. You will see liquid drawn out of the meat. This is the osmosis process working. Drain this liquid and add fresh salt if needed. Your meat will stay safe and fresh for up to 3 months without refrigeration. For cheese. Step 1. Wrap your cheese block in a cloth lightly dampened with salt water, 1 tablespoon of salt per cup of water. Step 2. Place in a glass jar or container. Seal tightly. Step 3. Rewrap with fresh saltwater cloth every 2 weeks. Your cheese will stay fresh for up to 6 months. No mold, no spoilage. For fruit. Step 1. Slice fruit into even pieces. Remove seeds and cores. Step 2. Dip each piece briefly in a light saltwater solution. 1 teaspoon salt per quart of water. Step 3. Lay flat on a clean surface and allow to dry for 2 hours. Step 4. Pack into glass jars with salt layers between each layer of fruit. Your fruit stays fresh for 2 to 4 months and actually becomes sweeter as the salt draws out natural sugars. Now let me give you real numbers from real people who have done this. A mother of 4 in Kentucky, spending $180 a month on groceries, started salt preserving her vegetables and meat in January. By March, her monthly grocery bill had dropped to $95. She was throwing away almost nothing. Every dollar of food she bought was being fully consumed. A retired couple in Montana, living 40 miles from the nearest grocery store, now makes 1 shopping trip every 3 months instead of every week. Their $1 bag of salt preserves enough food to last their entire household for 90 days. A homesteader in Tennessee completely unplugged his second refrigerator in February after switching to salt preservation for his bulk meat purchases. His electricity bill dropped by $45 a month. That is $540 a year from one $1 bag of salt. And here is the number that should really hit home. The average American refrigerator costs $200 a year to run. It lasts about 15 years. Over its lifetime, that is $3,000 in electricity alone. Not counting the purchase price. Not counting repairs. Not counting the food that spoils inside it anyway. A $1 bag of salt. Every month. That is $12 a year versus $200 a year. You do the math. Your appliance industry is not going to send you this information in the mail. They never have. They never will. That is exactly why this video exists. Try this today. Start with your vegetables. It is the easiest and fastest way to see results. Pack 1 jar tonight. Check it in 2 weeks. You will not believe what you find. Then drop a comment below. Tell me what food you preserved. Tell me how long it lasted. Tell me what your grocery bill looked like before and after. Because every comment makes this information harder for them to ignore and harder for them to bury. Share this video right now. Send it to a mom. Send it to a retiree on a fixed income. Send it to anyone paying too much for groceries every month. They deserve to know this exists. If you are new here, every single week I share methods like this one. Things that cost $1, $2, or $3 that powerful industries have spent decades making sure disappear from your knowledge. Subscribe and hit the bell. You cannot afford to miss what is coming next. Because next week, I am going to show you how a $2 aluminum foil trick heats any room all winter for completely free. No electricity, no gas, no heating bill. The heating industry made this method, quote, forgotten for a reason. I will see you there.